Hey guys, welcome back. Today we are going to go over the 5 best exercises for your chest and growing your chest. This is mainly for guys, but girls as well. The 4 components of the chest that you need to know about are the pectoralis major, which is the largest component of the chest and makes up the most. It is one of the strongest in that area. And then you have the pectoralis minor, you have the serratus anterior, and then you have the subclavius. Sounds like a Roman emperor, but I promise it's true. So these 4 make up the full chest, and you have to activate all of them properly in order to grow your chest efficiently and get as strong as you want to get. So I will go by saying there's a lot of different rumors out there on how to grow chests and different ways that you might go about doing that. One is crossing midline, which is okay to do in certain movements, but it's not something that you necessarily have to do too often. I talked to a buddy that's 8-time Mr. Olympia Lee Haney, and he rarely did crossing midline exercises such as pec flies where they're crossing over and really getting a better activation at the top. It is good to do occasionally if you want, but it's not a must. What I will say is a must is adding bands into your workout to make sure your chest is getting fully activated. And the bands are great because they're gonna add resistance where the cable doesn't. The cable keeps a constant resistance and the band is gonna add resistance at the very end. So they complement each other very well, and I'll show you how to add a band in every one of these exercises. All right, so first up is the wide flies. As you can tell, I have a Bosu ball behind my back, and that's just to get better range of motion, so I can really stretch out that chest as much as you can get. And from this position, you want to keep your arms slightly flexed, your elbows are barely bent. If they're too straight, it's going to cause a lot of pressure on the shoulder, and it's going to take off from the chest. And too bent, you're just not going to get that outer chest like you really should and want to on this exercise. This is a mainly outer chest exercise, and it's going to work those muscle fibers going from your sternum out. That's where you're going to feel this mainly in your chest. It's a great one to do. Make sure you add it in. As you can tell, I have the bands attached to the handles, which are going to add more resistance at the very top. Okay, so these dumbbell pullovers are great to do in addition. A lot of people miss. They are something that get neglected very often. And yes, you are gonna feel your triceps, but honestly, if you superset properly with these exercises, you're gonna feel nothing but chest. Tries are gonna be maybe 10 or 20%. The band adds resistance as you pull up over the chest. It really helps to get a good squeeze there. This one is really great to do for working mid-chest and lower chest, along with the serratus anterior. This is mainly serratus anterior, which makes up part of that chest. You want to keep the elbows slightly flexed. As you can tell in the video, I'm barely bending the arms and I'm getting as much range of motion back as I possibly can. Just make sure you have a dumbbell because you want to keep your hands pretty narrow. If you go too wide, you're going to start recruiting other muscle groups instead of chest. So keep it kind of narrow on a dumbbell and you're going to feel that thing activating. Okay, so the dumbbell banded hammer press is one of my favorites. All of these are my favorite, obviously, but this one in particular. You really get a good squeeze by pressing those dumbbells together. So don't just come here and try to drive up. You're trying to push against each other as best you can. You're trying to smash those 2 together and make one. And that is gonna activate the inner side of the chest as well. So that, along with the band added to it, you're gonna feel that resistance at the very top. As you can tell in the video, I'm doing a nice slow eccentric movement down. That's gonna recruit more muscle fibers. It's gonna break them down much more efficiently, and then you're gonna rebuild even stronger. So make sure you do a nice slow eccentric. Pause at the bottom is fine, and a good steady constant press coming back up. So this upright fly is a variation from dumbbells. A lot of people do the dumbbells, which are great, but when you get to the top, there's a little bit of a rest period depending on how high you get. And at the top, it's gonna be the same resistance the entire way down. So until you get to the very bottom. With the bands, the great thing about it, the higher up you get, the more resistance you're gonna get, and the more you're gonna work that chest. Now this will help with the fibers that run more down into the clavicle. They go here and across to the outer side of the chest as well. It's from your clavicle out. And this one is great to do. It's gonna hit a lot of that upper chest and build efficiently. But as you can see, my hands are about midline. They're in front of my elbow and in front of my shoulders. And at the top, I'm getting a good hold, 2 to 3 seconds every time. Squeeze really hard, focus on chest, slight bend in the elbows, barely flexion. If you bend too much, you're not gonna feel your chest. If you straighten out, again, it's gonna be all Okay, so this is a remake of the traditional bench press, which is great, but adding a perturbation movement is gonna make it even more efficient. The reason I added these kettlebells to the end of this barbell is because it's gonna destabilize, causing your muscles to contract even more. So you're trying to stabilize that bar as it's coming down. Now, I would go much lighter than what you're used to, obviously, but it really is gonna recruit a lot of new muscle fibers that you've never felt before. And you're gonna get a lot better pump and a lot better engagement in a shorter amount of time, I promise. Hey, thanks for watching the 5 best chest exercises. We put out content weekly, so a new video every week. Make sure you subscribe and put your alert on so you get these videos coming in. Send me questions, concerns, anything that you want to see in the future possibly. But I'm here to help, and just let me know what we can do. See you next time.